Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, 0 road fatalities in Barbados are possible, and the government is intent on reaching that target. In a bid to achieve this, it has proposed several changes to the Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2017, geared at boosting road safety. Leading off this morning's debate, Minister of Transport and Works Michael Lashley announced random drug and alcohol testing for PSV and other drivers. However, he says training would be introduced for law enforcement officials ahead of the move to implement breathalyzer testing.
The prescribed limit is set out in the law. It's Section 85. This speaks to the interpretation of breath analysis, prescribed limit. The drug includes any intoxicant other than alcohol. Fail includes refuse. Also, Mr. Speaker, sir, the power of arrest by the police officer without a warrant. A person who's driving or in charge of a motor vehicle, sir, on a public road or any other public place where, of course, they have reasonable cause.
Other proposed amendments to the bill address speeding, fake number plates, the use of ATVs and clamping down on uninsured vehicles.
The manufacturer should not issue a license, it's mandatory, should not issue a license number plate to any person unless that person presents an ID card, a valid driver license, a valid registration card evidencing payment of the relevant tax in the motor vehicle, and a valid certificate of insurance in respect of the motor vehicle. And of course, the person who contravenes this subsection is guilty of an offense and liable on summary conviction to a fine of $1,000.
Opposition leader Mia Motley is accusing Transport Minister Michael Lashley of trying to score political points with a last-minute amendment to the Road Traffic Act. She was contributing to debate on the Road Traffic Amendment Bill 2017. Noting that the general election is due next year, Ms. Motley says the bill is merely for the Transport Minister to say he introduced legislation during his current term in office.
This is to allow the Minister of Transport, the Honourable Member for St. Philip North, to say that he brought at least one bill in 5 years to this Honourable Chamber. For without it, he would have brought none. It will allow him not to be left out when the Honourable Member for Christchurch in Central is occupying the pages of the Facts campaign. It will allow him to do that which he did not do in 9 years and 9 months in the dying days of an administration.
The opposition leader also questioned whether there was enough consultation on the bill. With the tally of road fatalities standing at 24 to date for 2017, Barbadians are supporting the move to introduce breathalyzer testing, and they believe it will help save lives. And joining us live now is President of the Road Safety Association, Charmaine Rowland-Bowen. Charmaine?
Yes.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's always a pleasure to talk about road safety.
Now, the long-awaited breathalyzer testing is one step closer to being a reality, Charmaine. Yes. What are your thoughts on that?
Firstly, I must say that we at the BRSA, we are very, very happy that this legislation has gotten the advancement that it has gotten today. We fully support these amendments because we see them as something we as citizens of Barbados and visitors that we deserve. We deserve to be protected. We deserve the authorities, whoever they may be, to put our lives and our safety first. What has me really shocked is the kind of opposition that these amendments are being given. I see everything should be put aside. I mean, people should be joining hands, coming together, and asking what can we do to help make these amendments or these laws stronger. Because we have to put aside our personal interests and put the interest and the safety of the general public, even the ones that get behind the wheel drunk. We must protect them also. And I see it as a win-win situation, and I don't feel, that it should be something that should be debated. It is common sense. At last, we can finally say that we are on par. I'm not even going to say with the international countries, but with our local brothers and sisters within the Caribbean, where their governments have these legislation and these safety measures in place to protect them. So I don't see why it must be or it should be debated. We have to put the lives and safety of all road users first. On Sunday, we're going to be acknowledging the United Nations World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims and their families. Some of these victims, in Barbados I'm talking about, would have lost some of their loved ones due to people getting behind that wheel and driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, and nothing has happened to them. They are given the opportunity to go back out there and endanger their lives and other person's lives. This is wrong. I feel in this day and age, we should put the safety of our citizens and our road users first, and don't bring politics in it at all. Politics should never be a part of it. It should be the safety of each and every road user, and we are looking at our government to represent us, to keep us safe, to protect us. And finally, we are getting the opportunity, to breathe a little lighter, by taking these criminals, because in a number of countries, if you kill someone with a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, it's considered as a criminal offense. And I don't see, even though we have it as a road traffic offense, people must learn to take responsibility for their actions. And we know a vehicle is a weapon. And if you're not responsible, you should not be out there on the road driving. Your license should be taken away. Whether you're the breadwinner, you should think before you act, because it is not about you. It's about the safety of yourself and other road users.
Charmaine, thank you. Charmaine, thank you very much. This is where we will have to leave you.
Right.
But of course, I'm sure we will get to talk some more about these amendments to the proposed amendments to the Road Safety Act. That's Charmaine Roland-Boyne, the president of the Road Safety Association. Well, there is no plan to privatize the Transport Board. That assurance from Transport Minister Michael Lashley. It came last night, after a day of industrial action at the Transport Board, which resulted in most of their buses being off the road. Speaking at a meeting held to address a number of employee grievances, the minister stressed that the workers' jobs are safe.
The security of workers in terms of their job security, we want to give a commitment to that. There's no issue of privatization on the cards. We've said that. The taxi project was started to bring transport services to the public, not to bring privatization through the back door. And we are not contemplating any privatization of the Transport Board. I'm saying to the workers, their jobs are secured.
The minister also spoke to a number of other issues,
particularly appointments that dates back to sometime before my time. Okay, but that is, we're dealing with workers' rights. So the time, whether it's before my time or whether it's now, it doesn't make a difference. It is the workers' rights that we're fighting for. Secondly, a commitment to regular meetings for nightly, basically with the management, deputy permanent secretary of the Ministry of Transport Works, crashing out issues, having these meetings, and of course putting deadlines and reaching decisions, not basically just talking.
Regular bus service resumed today. Barbadian songstress Betty Griffith Payne and 2 other people have been remanded to prison on a number of drug-related charges. The Barbados Music Award winner and former Richard Stout Teen Talent star is alleged to have committed the offences between November 7th and 10th this year. The trio of Payne, her 35-year-old sister Marie Griffith of Phillips Road, Cleavers Hill, St. Joseph, and 34-year-old Guyanese national Kwanzaa Canterbury are facing several cocaine-related charges. Sharika Griffith was there when they appeared in the District C Magistrates Court, and she filed this report.
38-year-old Griffith Payne of West Terrace Heights, St. James, and her sister, 35-year-old Marie Alexa Griffith of Cleavers Hill, St. Joseph, have jointly been charged with the unlawful possession of cocaine, possession with intent to supply, trafficking, and conspiracy to traffic the drug. The sisters also faced additional charges of handling the substance, valued at $625,000. 34-year-old Guyanese national Kwanzaa Canterbury also appeared before Chief Magistrate Christopher Birch to answer charges related to the same matter. He is also charged with trafficking and possession with intent to supply a quantity of cannabis valued at $8,000. Canterbury, who is in Barbados on a work permit, pled guilty to these charges. However, the trio was not required to plead to the indictable offences related to the cocaine. Despite submissions for bail by their respective attorneys, the prosecution objected to bail based on the seriousness of the accusations and the possibility that they may interfere with ongoing investigations. The three accused, none of whom is known to the court, were remanded to prison. They are expected to reappear in court on Thursday. Sharika Griffith, CBC News.
Sharika, thanks. We'll take a break here, but there's more news in just a moment.
It started with my love for making things. That became a business. And when I wanted to expand, I chose a partner that could help me build on my vision. A partner that made growing my business easier with fewer steps. That's banking that starts with me.
It starts with you. Scotiabank.
Boarding school experience, I'd say it's definitely been life-changing. I've met countless mentors, friends, staff that I know would help me through anything.
I would say that this school really broadens your horizons and it really allows you to see more, and it just helps you be prepared to take on all that you want to do and everything that you want to see in the world and in yourself.
Help support the restoration efforts for the hundreds of thousands affected by catastrophic hurricanes. Donate to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, account number 10011633436. First Citizens, 500-900-00588. RBC Royal Bank, 210-05073. And Republic Bank, 01804-153-1001. Monies raised will be sent to the International Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes 30th November 2017. Persons wishing to post checks should make these out to Red Cross Hurricane Relief Appeal account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300 Bridgetown, or hand deliver to the Red Cross Warrens headquarters. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the victims of catastrophic hurricanes, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
The doctors are live and online.
We have another caller.
Concerned about chronic illnesses? Just ask.
I was getting like a sharp pain. It's not a cramp.
Or the right medication and side effects for your ailment?
Common drugs that treat glaucoma are beta blockers, and they also slow down your heart rate.
Get advice on how to eat right.
If you eat a lot of food like eggs, of course, got sulfur in it.
Just ask.
You know, you have good bacteria that exist in your stomach. And one of the bad things is when you introduce antibiotics, it causes the alteration in these bacteria.
CBC presents Medical every first and third Friday at 9 p.m. on CBC TV 8 with Rosemary Allen. They are your lifeline.
Brought to you with the compliments of Lucia. Hunger Smart.
The Ministry of Agriculture gave farmers as well as the general public a special treat today when they were exposed to non-traditional crops. Shane Jones has more.
Of Barbadians visited Graham Hall to get a first-hand view of some of the many crops not usually grown here in Barbados. Agronomist in the Food Crops Department at the Ministry of Agriculture, Colin Maynard, says they are educating Barbadians on non-traditional crops.
We are also letting the public know as well that we are developing something called a herbal sanctuary here at Graham Hall, where the main objective is to preserve a lot of the wild flora, the wild plants that were used for medicines in the past to treat various ailments and cure certain various problems, and even as therapeutic is for person. We will preserve them here in the sanctuary. The sanctuary will have three components: greenhouse, open field, and an area where medicinal plants in the tree farm, the larger plants, will be located.
The crops will be well categorized.
All will be labeled. What they were used for, currently being used for, will be on the labels. And anytime somebody wants to identify a plant, because we recognize that currently we are losing a lot of our plants due to construction, development, expansion of development, the use of indiscriminate use of chemicals. So we want to preserve and have all these here stocked at Grand Hall. And further than that, we want to provide an outlet for people that need these plants.
The response from the public was more than encouraging.
We probably have towards 3 times as much people than we would have originally expected. So the interest is there, and we want to continue building on that interest to get people to plant these plants, regardless of what space they have in their living environment. You don't actually need acres and acres, because you could do container planting, you could do airframes, all types of different systems, regardless of where you live. And by doing so, we are hoping that you will have these products. You won't need to go into the supermarket, and a lot of these products are imported. You won't need to buy them, and we would do something to lessen that import bill we have.
As a follow-up, the ministry is working on developing a nursery at Graham Hall, where the plants will be made available to the public. Shane Jones, CBC News.
Well, thanks, Shane. And members of the St. Michael Northwest constituency came out in their numbers to celebrate some of their own over the weekend. Many were awarded for their service in the constituency during an awards ceremony and luncheon at Almond Bay. Member of Parliament and Minister of Finance Chris Sinclair described the constituency members as a family. He says several programs are in place designed to support and assist in the development of the constituents.
Whether it is the back-to-school program, assisting those parents who may be having a little trouble in getting the children ready, whether it is the Lawson Week Scholarship Program, which we do to award our students, whether it is our Hampers program that is coming up. We're going to be doing the Hampers again this year. We started doing 150. It went to 225. Then it went to 300. It went to 375. Last year it was 500, and this year it's going to be 750. So,
members of the St. George Parish Independence Committee came out with all manner of tools over the weekend to give one of the island's best-known sites a facelift. Their efforts were all concentrated on the Lion at Gun Hill, with the aim of beautifying this signal historic location. Chairman of the committee, Herbert Harewood, says they intend to make the attraction more vibrant.
When we came here, and the Lion here at Gun Hill there was a lot of bush. A bush was coming all over the Lion, really, and the members were able to do a major debushing program, number one. Number two, we'll be painting that Lion to ensure that for Independence 2017, the Lion will be fully refurbished, and indeed we'll be able to be very proud of what we have as a signal point in Barbados, so that when tourists and locals come here to Gun Hill, that they'll be impressed by what we have to offer.
Mr. Harewood says they've been in talks with officials from the National Trust and National Heritage Committees with even more ideas for the area.
We are also suggesting and recommending that there will be a light to shine on the Lion, so that when persons pass here, and even if persons want to come here during the course of the night, that it will be illuminated, so that at least persons do not only have to come during the course of the day, but they can come at night and feel that they are safe and secure because they have a presence here at Gun Hill.
The Queen Elizabeth Hospital will soon be launching a corporate business unit. The news came from Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dexter James during the hospital's anniversary service. Dr. James says as the hospital celebrates its 53rd year, the new unit will be among a number of initiatives planned for the facility. He explained the purpose of the soon-to-be business unit.
We'll soon launch our corporate business unit as a special purpose vehicle to expand philanthropy, process all elective inpatients, and generate additional revenues.
And Dr. James also encouraged those in power to make the issue of healthcare financing a priority.
We are grateful to have the privilege of playing such an important role in the communities we serve, and for the trust you place in us. It is for this reason that we again implore policymakers to give urgent attention to revisiting a new model of healthcare financing. This is a necessary imperative if we are to sustain the health gains accrued over many years.
And still to come, a look at some of the stories making headlines across the region.
I would like to get my father a bike and my mother a bed. I would like a Samsung TV for my mommy. I want to get my mommy a tablet. I would like to get my dad a barbecue because he likes to cook fish.
Honey, this kitchen needs painting.
Why not the whole house?
We hitting the jackpot at Berger Paints.
Enter to win free paint in one of 7 prizes in the Ansel McCall Lucky 7 jackpot worth $140,000. Just spend $100 at Brightest Stokes, Brightest Express and Stationery, Brightest Insurance Standard, MQI, Berger Paints, or Consolidated Finance. Enter your code online at www.ansellucky7jackpot.com for your chance to win. See website for full details.
I am Ram. And I am Coke. I'm DJ Kareem. And we want you to come out and support the relief efforts for all our Caribbean neighbors after this devastating hurricane season.
Remember, we are one Caribbean.
Love.
Protect.
Respect.
Live up.
Live up now. Get real.
In Trinidad, Parliament's Joint Select Committee has recommended that Caribbean Airlines Limited, or CAL, immediately review the viability of some of its North American routes. It says the routes have been unprofitable and resulted in an unabated trend of declining passenger numbers and massive financial losses. At a press conference at Parliament yesterday, JSC Chairman, Independent Senator David Small, said the problem demands urgent attention. He added that CAL needs to employ strategies to save such routes to prevent future financial leakages. Senator Small, however, declined to identify the routes, saying he did not want to damage the company's image. He also called on CAL to immediately cease all international recruitment of foreign pilots so as to ensure local pilots are hired. Executives at the Bahamas Crisis Center and the country's police force have partnered to reduce the number of domestic murders in the country. In this regard, they have unveiled a new crime-fighting initiative.
In addition to the $20 million Citizens and Justice Crime Fighting Program that's now ongoing and sponsored by the Inter-American Development Bank targeting at-risk youth, Undersecretary in the Ministry of National Security, Mr. Eugene Poitier, says the police also intend to work closely with renowned psychologist Dr. David Allen to address revenge killings in the Bahamas.
What normally happens is after the police is gone and the forensic scientists are gone, there's still that residual resentment, anger, and feeling, which leads to revenge killings. Okay? What we don't want to do is to end up in a situation like other countries like Jamaica, where you have what is called mob killings. So, since nearly 50% of murders involve conflicts and revenge killings, the ministry will partner with Dr. Allen and other similar programs that seek to intervene in the lives of troublesome males at a young age with a view to preventing them from becoming socially fragmented from society. That sense of alienation and being disjointed is a major factor.
Noting the government's aggressive and proactive plan to fight crime, Mr. Poitier says they are also seeking assistance from the educational scholars in the research department at the University of the Bahamas. Poitier says they are also looking for more evidence-based strategies to combat the crime problem.
In St. Lucia, a special edition of the popular fish fry Festin Laboui is being hailed as a huge success. The special event was a joint effort by the Laboui Economic and Employment Forum and Sugar Beach Resort.
Festin Laboui is a cultural extravaganza held on the last Friday of every month in Laboui. The event usually takes place on every last Friday of the month on High Street, Laboui. However, organizers this past week teamed up with a Sugar Beach Resort from Soufrière for a special early edition of the street party. The result, the West Coast village was overwhelmed by a flood of visitors from the hotel who were transported to the venue via boat. Laboui was teeming with activity, with the streets packed with patrons, vendors, entertainers and the sound of music of live bands. Locals and visitors alike took the opportunity to engage in a night of merriment that including sampling an assortment of drinks and seafood dishes on offer.
That is a great initiative for Laboui. It's a great initiative for the South, and I implore everyone to come down and have fun. Have some food, have some drink, and have a great time in Laboui.
The general manager of the Sugar Beach Resort, Mark Sterner, lauded the organizers of the festivity. He hinted at further collaboration with the coordinators of Festin Laboui in the near future.
I'm sure you're pretty excited and happy as to all your people being in Laboui tonight.
Well, this is a night. It's an awesome evening. The people of Laboui and St. Lucia putting all this together for everyone here. It's pretty awesome.
And here's a tip now from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
Insurance is the most widely used method of financing risk. Many persons only appreciate the importance of insurance when they suffer loss or damage to their personal property or possessions. Cooperators General Insurance, ensuring you are protected during this hurricane season.